I'm going to hit record on this now. I'm very excited to have Ashley Smith take some time out of her crazy schedule. I know she's got Super Saturday on the dock this week. Chris Downing will be out there in Atlanta, and she's been in the 80-day obsession test groups. I know it's had like very regimented times when she's had to work out and do things. But anyway, as you guys know, Ashley's had a very successful business. She's been kicking butt again in this new year, is, ranked number 5 in terms of our elite program, just an organizational builder. I mean, she's just done some incredible things in her business. And so I asked her to be on the hot seat today. So Ashley, we're going to turn the time over to you to kind of overview the things that you're doing right now in your business that you found effective and working. And then we will let the participants here put you on the hot seat and Q&A. So Ashley, I'm going to turn the time over to you. Thank you for being on.
Okay, cool. Awesome. All right. Well, first of all, I'm not super fancy. So some of this may be like, oh, duh, but it just works. So I'll just share kind of what I'm doing. I don't have like a big system or a big, fancy things that I recreate and stuff. I think the biggest thing when Craig asked me that, it really all comes down to my team culture and kind of like the team morale and how we kind of just like rally everybody up. Because I think that's the biggest thing. If your team's not behind you and if they're not excited about stuff, then there's nowhere for you to go. You can't move forward because it's a total team effort. So I was trying to jot down, like it's all over the place, but a couple of things that have been working for me just in terms of like keeping engagement up, like in my just social media stuff. And then also with the team, I'll just share a couple of things that I've been currently doing. So for one thing that has been working really, really well for me is when we talk about team calls, I was finding that less and less people were hopping on, especially when it was like a specific time and it was a Zoom and it's at night. I have a lot of people on my team who are not full-time coaches yet. We have about half and half, but there's a lot who work full-time still. So because of that, I've kind of done some team calls a little bit differently. I do them every other week. And the first one of the month is always a live one. So the second one of the month is a Zoom call like this, and whoever can hop on, awesome. And then we do a live power hour after that. But the one that has been helping a lot is the live one. And so the first week of every month I go in, and that's my team call on Wednesday nights. And I make sure that they know about it, but it's the same time every single month, so they kind of know when it is. I go live in there, and I give all my details, and I give my topics and stuff, and it always leads to me getting all, inspirational and having things to talk about and ideas, because it's kind of like that momentum. They're commenting and they're getting excited and they're hearing you talk. And then at the end, something that I have been doing that has been really rallying them up and also kind of reminding them back to why we're here as coaches, to help people and to celebrate those stories, those life changes and things like that. And this is kind of something that I did all throughout my year of pushing for top 10 too, without even realizing. And I was like, wow, that's actually probably something that really helps. It was always constantly bringing them back to that idea of helping people and really celebrating the person behind that story. And so at the end of my live team calls, I kind of do like a little giveaway, like a fun rally, whether it's like someone gets a tub of Energize or, a program or, just something random, like a gift card or something like that. But I have them go in there and I comment and I'm like, okay, you guys, so these are the 3 topics that are up for giveaways. And the first one is I asked them to tell me and it's only once a month, remember, these team calls. So this live one. So the first question is I asked them to share with me a really awesome testimonial from a challenger in their challenge group from last month. So it's the beginning of the month. So they're referencing their group that just ended, most of them. And so I had them tell me, I'm like, okay, who thinks that they have the most inspiring story of one of their challengers from last month? And I have them share something, have them share their commenting. And we're kind of going through and I'm getting to like talk about it while they're posting their different stories and stuff. And this is something that's so cool because people have really loved that, and it's inspired them to make little videos about it and to share about it and to feel more comfortable to share about it in our sneak peek groups and things like that. Another one that we always touch on is to date, how many pounds have you lost since Beachbody came into your life? And so again, focusing back them back on their own, their own journey and their own story and what they've been doing on their own fitness journey, because we all know that that's a huge part of being a coach, is really really focusing on you as well. And then the last one I have them do is, how did you guys step out of your comfort zone, however many times? So what was one example of how you stepped out of your comfort zone with your coaching business last month? And so this is, again, all referencing the past month. And so they're getting really excited to just share. For some of them, it may be like, I sent a message to somebody who I've known forever, but I was so afraid to invite them to coaching. And then it could be somebody else that has a much more intense story, but it's something that's been really cool. And it kind of gives them, a fun way for me to just send out little things I have laying around the house that are just extra things, but also really get them excited. And again, it's reminding them about their own fitness journey, reminding them about their challengers, and then reminding them about how easy it is just to step outside your comfort zone. They feel a little bit more comfortable to share little victories and little wins like that when it's live, when other people are also commenting and posting. And it just really creates a fun atmosphere, even though we're not live like this, we're not like communicating on a Zoom. They've really loved just getting to kind of feel that energy, and it always just fires them up, and they're all commenting, I'm ready to go work now. So that's one thing that's been really cool for me. And I'm really big on team culture. I'm really big on, like I said, that's super simple, but I'm really big on that because it keeps them excited, and it keeps them wanting to come back and waking up the next morning and getting excited about the next call and the next team call and that kind of thing. So that's one thing that I've been doing that I really love, because I was getting frustrated with how many people were not getting on Zoom calls when they have to click the link and all that. I mean, I don't know, that's just lame to me, but it was a lot for them to click a link, I guess, and get on Zoom. So when I go live, I'm like, I'm going to be live at this time. They're all on. And so I love that. I love that energy that it kind of promotes. So that's one thing that has been working. Oh, the other, let me see, Sarah, I see a question. Yes, I do, Sarah. I do let my leaders go live, and we've been doing that a lot more because all of my Star Diamonds and I are doing some little rally groups that I've been helping a lot too, and that's what I'll kind of go into next. But I do have my leaders pop in, and it's if I see a trend of something that people are struggling with, maybe it's the power hour, or maybe it's, recruiting or inviting and things like that. And if I have a leader who I'm like, oh man, she'd be so awesome at sharing about that, they do. I ask them to go live, and that always helps, because what I have to realize, or what I've realized over the last almost 3 years of being a coach, is that they don't all relate to me. I've gone from being, a very newlywed to now having 2 kids. And so that's a whole lot of difference, for somebody who's a new coach who's working full time. They're not going to relate as much to me and to my schedule now as somebody would to some of my other leaders who are full-time teachers and nurses and things like that have no kids, that maybe are single, that kind of thing. So I always kind of try to keep it, spaced out, and so people can relate to other people. Okay, one of the things that isn't working, and it's funny because Craig and I had a call, and I was like, I need some leadership development points so bad. I'm trying to get some rank advancements. This has not been, last year I did not rank advance once, you guys. Okay, so no rank advancements, nothing. Yes, we made it to the top 10, and that's a whole different side of it. But as far as just talking about rank, it was not a good year for rank advancements for me. And that's just kind of because I think I pushed back a little bit on that. I hated the feeling of pushing people. And when they weren't moving anywhere, I was like, all right, I'm not going to push them anymore. This is just going to happen organically if it's meant to be. So, however, this year I have started doing some more little groups. And so this year we've called it the Believe, Shift, Do Crew is the name of the group that we started. And, just like the words, talking about, we focus a lot on belief in themselves and mindset shift, making the mindset shift to actually speaking all positive things about yourself instead of, talking about all the negative things of I can't do that, or this is in my way today, or this excuse, that excuse. And then just the idea of doing it, actually putting your money where your mouth is, and not just talking the talk, but actually walking the walk and doing it. So my Star Diamonds and I have put together push groups, and we do it every quarter. It's a separate little group each time so that new people can get in. But one thing that we have done in these groups is we kind of it's a series of, maybe it's 2 months long, maybe it's 10 weeks, maybe it's the last one I think was 7 weeks by the time we actually put it together. But what we did is we had people fill out a Google form to get in. So if they were legit and actually wanted to do it, they actually took the time to fill out the form. They didn't just comment below a post that said, hey, do you guys want to get into a group where you're going to rally for this? Because half the time they do that, and then what happens? they don't actually do anything, right? You put them in the group and they don't do anything. So for me, if they're going to take the next step to fill out 10 questions about themselves, then they must be a little bit more legit. So they filled out a Google form and they got into this group. So we added them in, and there's our welcome posts and all that. But the way that we structured it was, between my Star Diamonds and I, is we each took a week. And so each person had a week and each person had a topic. And so, the first week was like our prep week. It was all about mindset and belief. And just like in my challenge groups, I don't even know if it was like on our mastermind that I shared about that, or maybe it was a call I spoke on for somebody else, but I shared about my challenge groups. And the whole first week I do purely mindset training. Like, that's my prep week. Yes, they get a little bit about like pantry raids and all that kind of stuff, but it's mostly on belief and mindset and setting their mind in the right place, because we all know that your health journey, your fitness journey, achieving any goal in life is, you have to believe that you can do it before you actually are going to be able to do anything, really. So we kind of work on just peeling back all the layers and getting to the bottom of what they're fearful of, all of that in the first group. And so we all, like each of the diamonds and I, we all just kind of went in there and just talked every day about just different things, different ways that kind of changing our mindset has really helped our business and our lives and our, our family lives, just our overall well-being, that kind of thing. And then every other week after that, we would go live on Tuesdays, and that would be where we would share, or no, sorry, we would go live on Thursday. So Tuesday was the day. Let me rewind. So this group, we did not want it to be where they get overwhelmed with a ton of information. I don't know if you guys have ever been in like quote unquote push groups where it's like you're just thrown up with so much information that you're crippled. You can't even do anything. You're like, I don't even know what to do with this. So we kind of overall in the Google form, was one of their questions was, what was one of the biggest things you feel like you're struggling with right now? And we kind of gave them some check boxes, and then they also could choose other if they wanted to share something specific. And so that kind of led to the topics that we covered in this group. But what we did then was we kind of structured it where each Star Diamond took a week. On that Tuesday, they would share one type of informational video that they felt was really awesome on that topic. So for example, maybe we're talking about challenge groups and how to really kind of create a great funnel between challenge groups and turning them into coaches. So maybe on Tuesday, we share a really awesome video about that. Okay, they have a video and you give them like one takeaway, one homework question for them to comment below with. Okay, nothing else, nothing happened on Monday, nothing happened on Wednesday. This is all just information for them to kind of sift on, put into action if they want. And then Thursday at a certain time, that coach hosting it, so if it's me, I say, hey guys, I'm going to be live at this time on Thursday. And it was a live Q&A with me. So it was like, I'm the expert this week. I'm the person that's going to share and answer any type of questions with you all on this topic. And so that's what we would do. We would do the informational video on Tuesday, the live video on Thursday, and then every Sunday they had to post their win the week tracker. Another thing that has been working for me is that people are so overwhelmed by the idea of a power hour. I don't know, when I became a coach, I was like, all right, I'm just going to do a power hour because that's what they told me. That's what's going to happen. That's just the type of person that I am. However, I know that's not how everyone else is. So what we did was we broke it down into the win the week tracker. And I actually think Carly, I don't think she's on here, but Carly has the same assistant as I do. And she made that tracker for us because we saw it in another page or something like that. And so she remade it, and it's called a win the week tracker. And I can post it again if you guys don't have it. But it was something that made them feel so much more like on top of the world than feeling just defeated because they didn't get a power hour in that day. Instead of every single day, because I'll be honest, there's days where I can't do it all either. There's days where it's just a mom day and I'm like, my kids are both insane. There's just no way until maybe midnight that night. There's just days like that, and that's okay. So for them, I hated the feeling of them feeling defeated like that. And so what we shifted to was every Sunday underneath an album in the group was they posted that tracker, that win the week tracker. And they felt so freaking empowered. Maybe they would have like a few boxes not checked, but they felt so good about themselves. Like they actually felt like they were moving forward. They actually sent 50 messages that month, but it might not have all been in the course of 2 days. It was over the course of that entire week, and they just felt really empowered with that. So I don't even know how many things that was, but that was a little bit of my team calls, and that was a little bit about this new type of push group, if you will. We didn't call it a push group. It wasn't a race to diamond. It wasn't a race to whatever, but we had like for just 7 weeks that we were in that group, we had about 6 diamond advancements in my downline and about like 30 Emerald advancements. We just let coaches in there too and just kind of let it be for Emeralds and for Diamonds. But and then a lot of Rubies. So we had a lot of rank advancements in the downline with that group because I think it just made it simple. It was just, you kind of broke it down a little bit more and it felt a lot more tangible, not overwhelming, not some homework every single day, not a bunch of videos every single day. And it just worked really well for us. So you guys may totally already do something like that and I may be late to the train, but that's something that worked. That's something that's worked really well for me because I get overwhelmed with groups and stuff like that too. So I had to kind of dumb it down and figure out how in the world can we make it very structured. And they knew every single day, every Tuesday, every Thursday, and every Sunday was the thing that we did. And so we've been doing that for the last 2 quarters and it's worked really, really well. And this quarter will be, their big goal or whatever is to be getting onto our retreat next year. So it's just kind of fun. I really like the format of it and it's worked well. And it's also caused my Star Diamonds to really up the game. It's not me doing it all. They all took a week and it's on them. They find a good video. They get all the good information. They asked us, different things. What do you do for your power hour? What do you do for this? And then we all just kind of come together and they go live with their information. And it was good. It really gave them a lot of ownership too, which I think is good. As a way to just kind of keep everyone together, but also give them some reign. Okay, what else is working good? Let's see. The Zoom webinar thing, the Zoom webinar plugin. Have you guys done that yet? Where it's like, we're on Zoom like this, so you can go live on Facebook and make a Zoom like this in a Facebook group. And so we did that for a sneak peek last month, and it was really awesome. So instead of having just a bunch of like already pre-recorded videos or live videos, we went live like this. And it was almost like a, what's the word? Like an interview type thing, kind of, where I was like facilitating questions. So maybe I have like 4 of you moms on who all are full-time coaches, but you have kids. And so I'm talking to you guys and asking you guys about how you work the business and how you make it work for you. Because in our team, we have a lot of young moms who are like, I could never coach because I have kids. You're like, okay, let's figure out how we can make this work, because that's not true. They're not your excuse. But, things like that. We had, somebody come on and talk to the husbands and have like 4 husbands up there. Hey, how did you guys feel when your wives signed up as a coach? What was that like? How long has it taken you to get on board? We just kind of took some of the big topics that people have really given a lot of objections about. And we did it like interview style like this, where you go live and it's like a webinar. So that's something that has been really super cool too, that we really like. And it's just a different way to do a sneak peek into your team. You could do it for challenge groups. You could do it for anything, honestly, but that was the way that we did it. And then I don't really have that much else. I mean, you guys know like Insta stories and stuff, like your social media stuff. That's been like the biggest place that I've seen engagements like continuing to stay on is Insta stories, and really just getting, I guess, just like really getting real. I think that social media is so like flaky nowadays that a lot of people just kind of are sifting over people that are just kind of sharing a bunch of like empty things. So just kind of like Craig said, just encouraging you guys to like be real and really share deep stuff, like share a little bit below the surface. And even if it's uncomfortable, our family is going through a ton of really horrible stuff. My parents are going through like literally the worst of worst you can ever imagine right now. And it has pulled all of us into it. And it has been so horrible on Spencer and I. And so, but I've just tried to like, share about that, been honest and things like that. So the more that you can just like really get real right now is when I have seen the most engagement, and just really showing how to stay positive. There's so much bad going on right now that really shines bright, I think, among so many other just either flaky things or so many other just, just stuff that's just kind of empty on social media. So just encouraging you guys with that, to keep just being really, really real and sharing your story really honestly, because that's what really, really has the power to connect with your audience and keep them engaged and keep them coming back. I saw a question over here. Yeah, the webinar thing does cost. However, what I did was I bumped down on my other like Zoom thing, because like I said, we've been doing more live videos for team calls because that has gotten more engagement. And so we're trying, but you can do it month to month. So maybe you just wanted to do it like for 1 month and try it out or whatever. You can do that too. And I don't remember how much it is, but it is very awesome to be able to go live like a webinar like this. Because honestly, you could use that for your team calls then, and you go live in Facebook instead. So have that instead of the Zoom chat function. This is the Zoom webinar function. So something to think about. I think that's all I have, Craig. Unless you guys had like something specific. That was like a very open-ended question. What's working for you? I'm like,
Well, and that is the idea, is that we just share it, because I think that's what we're in need of right now, is just hey, what little things. We're all in a process right now where we're trying to like hold true to good principles, but try tactics that engage the team, that keep the belief of the team alive. And then also just, again, different tactics or skills or techniques that you're teaching the team that are getting people to engage. And what I love about what you mentioned, Ashley, is that it's just the critical step of keeping your entire team engaged, it sounds like, in front of activities of different sorts that just keep them focused on the business and treating their coaching business like a business. And some of that is talking about challengers, transformations, or their own personal transformation, or stepping outside the comfort zone. I like what you talked about there. But again, it's just being in front of these things and watering I call it you grow what you water. And so being constantly in front of the team and engaging them in things that will keep them tied to their business and keep them focused and keeping the energy positive. I think that's, it's 90% of the battle, because, the what and the how they'll figure out and they'll do if they're engaged and they believe that it can happen. So I love, I love what you're talking about. I love to open it up to questions. It looks like there's some good questions coming in.
Yeah, I see some questions. Yeah, and like the reason that I do my live, like not power hours, but my live calls and stuff like that, is because I started to see this big divide between like people who really wanted to rank advanced, but they weren't doing it and they were feeling frustrated. People who, newer and younger coaches who were like, hey, it's me. Like, I'm a new coach. I haven't done anything important yet, but I'm still here, and so doing calls like that and like really recognizing, and like this push to, not this push group, but my Believe, Shift, Do crew group that I did, we let girls in that just wanted to push to Emerald. Like, to me, I'm like, dude, sign up 2 people, it's Emerald. But to some people, it's a really big step for them. And so to like have them in a group where they're getting really awesome trainings, that just helps them push further even quicker. We had so many girls that got to Ruby because of it instead of just Emerald, So really, I was just trying to kind of rally everyone back in together. I hate when the team starts to feel like, or when I talk to other coaches and stuff who are like, oh no, I only do that for my PS coaches, or only do that for these ranked coaches. There's nothing more sad to me than that, because you really want to get, it's all about your entire team. It's not about just your PS coaches or just your leaders. You've got to get everybody in there. That's what brings so much life to your team.
Yeah, there was a question in here about your sneak peek group. Do you just do the interview with coaches, or do you still do other live videos throughout the week sharing about coaching?
Yeah, we do both. We do live videos still, because no matter what, anything live, anything like happening right now is still really super exciting to people. And then honestly, after the fact, I have everybody save their videos, they upload them to YouTube, and then we make a playlist. So say I come to Allie and I'm like, oh my gosh, I missed your live sneak peek. Can't believe it. I'm like, hey, awesome. You can either join the group, or I can just send you this link to my playlist and you'll be able to just watch all the videos back to back. And people love that. So that's one thing that we do too after a live sneak peek like that. We just save everything to YouTube, upload it to a playlist, and it's like my September sneak peek playlist, my October sneak peek playlist. And people love getting to get that. So, but yeah, we do live for both of those. And we do ones that are really good. Like if there's just a really awesome video about income or about whatever, the different types of coaches or whatever kind of topic, sometimes we'll just share an already pre-made video that's really awesome, because you just can't do it justice because that video is just so good. That's fine too. We do both.
Questions here. Are those just coach stories, or is there like sometimes defined content like on the topic, like this coach is going to talk about X?
Both. So we, obviously I kick it off. I started with like a welcome video, and then the next topic, I can't remember all in order, but we literally go in there. It's like video 1, what is coaching? Video 2, how one big section we do is like, is common questions about coaching or common concerns about coaching. And one of them is like, how do I build my business on social media? how do I make time for my coaching business? How do I make coaching work if I have a full-time job? Like literally like 6 different videos. But those ones are usually pre-recorded just so that people can kind of go through those 6 little topics, especially if they're like, man, yes, I'm a full-time worker, but I really want to make this work. They can go watch that specific video. But we do, we touch on like, how do you build your business on social media? What does it look like to be a coach? My husband and I always go live at the end of it and share our story about just being, how he felt when I started and how it's kind of blessed our relationship. We always kind of get some husbands in there because that's one of the huge objections we get on our team. We do have something about Shakeology and the programs, like what kind of resources are you going to have as a coach to help people? Because a lot of people sign up and they're like, what is it going to look like? How am I going to help people? I'm not specialized. I don't have a certification. And so we talk about that. I mean, everything that you would have wanted to know as a coach, we talk about all that. And then we add in there a bunch of coach testimonials, like maybe one that's had a little bit, maybe it's someone that has a really great story about how it's helped them bring in a little bit of money and they've gotten to go down to part-time hours at work, or maybe it helped them put groceries on the table. Another person, they've had a really awesome weight loss transformation because of coaching, and that's why they became a coach. Just kind of different testimonials kind of sifted into there too, because that's what really gets people. That's what lets them see kind of what your team is all about, the different types of people on your team. And we really try to kind of keep it open between some newer coaches. We do some newer successful coach stories. We do some older coaches, just that kind of thing, really kind of creating a big, well-rounded view of what your team looks like, because that's what I want people to know when they come to a sneak peek. Not just what coaching is on paper, but what it's like to join my team personally, what we're all like, because that's ultimately what they're going to be a part of, is our team.
Did you say there's a YouTube playlist?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
open to the public, or do you have to have the links to get those? Or
you have to have the link, but I can share it with you guys if you want to see what that looks like.
Share in the Facebook thread.
Yes. Yeah.
To like one of your lineups, I think would be interesting for people to kind of check out.
And what I do for my team with that is what I do find is that some of my newer coaches, or, maybe they're just newer emeralds and things like that, they start getting interest in coaching. And this is a really great way for them to still utilize it and feel like they have a resource to use to share what coaching is when they're like overwhelmed and they're like, I don't want to word vomit. Like, I don't know how to share about coaching really well. And so this is something that's really worked for them, because I have a Google Doc in my team page in the file section where I actually have, I walk them through. This is how you're going to make your own playlist. You're going to record your own video, and their video goes first. They upload it and put that as their first video in the playlist. Like, hey, I'm Ashley. This is my story. This is how I got into coaching. Done. Then they have all the links to all the videos, and they just copy and paste them in to make their own playlist. So they can actually have it on their YouTube as well. So they cannot be sending my link to everybody. They're sending actually their own YouTube playlist link. But I'll share that whole document with you guys so y'all can see it.
Becca's question, was the webinar just one long video, or did you guys do lots of little videos?
Lots of little ones. I just saw that. There you are. I see you in the middle. Yeah, lots of little ones, just based on topic. So, like hear about coaching, in addition to some of the other topical type things, this is kind of where you could do some testimonials. Especially, and think about your team too. If you have like a really young team that's not a bunch of moms, don't do this. But obviously our team is a lot of moms and a lot of pregnant women about to have kids, and they're like, oh, I want to do it, but maybe I should wait until after I have the kid, or until they're like 4 years old. Like I literally have people say, maybe I should wait till they're 5. I'm like, wait, what? You're going to like waste 5 years of your life until their kids are old enough? So we have, we do videos where it's like just maybe 3 questions that I would ask them, how do you make coaching work as a full-time mom? What does your day look like? How do you actually fit your coaching time in when your kids are younger? Okay, Allie, your kids are older. What does your day look like for you? You're a mom of kids, but what does that look like for you? When they come home from work, or from school, are you done working? It's kind of just like this conversation that we have with them, and you make it short, like max 10 minutes, like never any longer than that. We never do videos over 5 minutes usually, but if it's a webinar type thing like that where it's, more people, then we do that. But we keep it quick, because the one thing I've seen is nobody watches videos over like 5 minutes long. Let's see, what else?
I think we got all the questions answered.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I think, unless there's any other.
Yeah, nothing else. You're making us all look bad.
Well, what's really funny? That makes me feel good, because I always sit here and I'm like looking at all these people with these really awesome trainings and like really big things, and I'm like, I do not do that. So that makes me feel good, at least. No. It's
Can I
just,
ask a question real quick?
yeah.
Thanks, Ashley. I love all of this. You've given me so many nuggets to take away. But like, let's talk about what happens before this. Where are you finding your coach? Like, what my questions were, like, you know, what's your average SC and what's your average coach recruits, but where are you finding all those? Because you're kind of, you know, probably a year and a half ahead of me. So where are you continuing to find coaches and continuing to find challengers?
It's really funny because my first, our first year of going elite, I was really focused on recruiting, and I talked about coaching all the time, and that was where my main focus was. Then the year that we pushed for top 10 last year, I did not want to do that because I wanted people to really fully believe Beachbody Blue and feel like they knew what the products were like and what everything was like. And so a lot of my really awesome coaches came from being challengers. And so I really focused on recruiting lots of challenge groups. I did a ton of free groups and funneled those people into challenge groups. And challenge groups, I talked a lot about coaching in them and turned them into coaches. And so that's what I still do. And honestly, I have so many people come through from Instagram, from my Insta stories, not posts, not comments, not things like that, but really using my Insta stories, putting links and everything for them to find out more information, and just sharing a lot of the behind the scenes type stuff. Because when people see like, oh my gosh, we're on a call, look at them, that's so fun, or they see the workouts, they see all this kind of stuff, they're like, I want to be a part of all that. I want to do that workout. I want to be on a call like that. Oh my gosh, I want that kind of one-on-one interaction with Ashley. It's that whole kind of thing too that helps a lot. But it's just funny because my first year I was so focused on recruiting, and a lot of those coaches fell off. And so when I started really thinking about challenge groups and really using those as a way to actually share a lot about coaching as well, it's led to a lot more lifers and a lot more people who just fully believe in the business and just really love it. So I would say that it's kind of half and half. A lot of girls who still see my coaching posts and still see stuff like that for the sneak peek and get in based on that. But a lot of them come from challengers and from people when I share a lot about challenge groups and the really awesome stories. On my Insta stories, I share little glimpses with words, sliced out, or, names covered up so they can see all these awesome comments on my challenge groups. But I would really say that my best coaches come from my challenge groups. And I really work a lot on those. I make those really very important. Like my whole posting schedule is very specific to really working on their mindset, then to really working on their fitness and kind of like relating with them, then to sharing that third week a lot about coaching and a lot about how what they're doing is like a coach and that kind of thing, just really kind of funneling them all through it. Power Hour. April, it might not be rolled out to you yet, the links in Insta stories. So for me, there's the link option where I can just quickly say swipe up, and they just swipe up and they can click the link in there and go. People are literally so lazy. I actually had a girl the other day that was like, oh, you should put the link in there because I totally want to go look at it, but I'm too lazy to type in the thing. I'm like, all you had to do is go click on it. But anyways, you could just click a link and they swipe it up and they can see, like, that's how I do my Google forms. That's how I do, even like I made a new coaching video the other day and I just said, hey, swipe up to go hear a little bit more about my story. And there's like hundreds of views on my YouTube story from people going to just see how I got into coaching. But just I use that a lot. I use Instagram a lot because it's a great way for people to just kind of connect with the behind the scenes of what happens in my life every single day, because people want to know that. So it seems really simple, but it works, What else? Anyone else saying anything? I think that's it. Oh, Allie, I think you did ask about a live power hour. I do one once a month. And I usually do it the last full week before the end of the month, if that makes sense. So it's kind of like a rally for Success Club and a rally for, maybe the last time for them to advance to Emerald, that kind of thing. So I kind of play with it. It just kind of depends. I can always kind of tell my team when I'm like, ooh, we need to rally. So we get on and we do a live power hour and I play music in the background. I lead them through a power hour. Like we have a timer. And so I'm like, all right, you got 5 minutes, go and add as many friends as you can and send them this message, things like that, or go on there and go wish everyone happy birthday. You have 3 minutes. It's like I'm a teacher, like I'm really teaching them step by step what they can actually get done in an hour. We play music, they drink coffee or wine or whatever, and it's become a really fun part of our month. Oh, that's cool, April. I like that idea. The half hour. I'm serious, you guys. People are so overwhelmed. Newer coaches are so overwhelmed by the idea of a full power hour. So I love that. Anything you can do to make it seem a little smaller and more dumbed down, even though to us we're like, just do the dang thing. Most of them are like, no. So as much as you can do to kind of meet them where they're at helps a lot. And that's where that Win the Week tracker has helped a ton too, with just kind of helping them to feel like they are actually accomplishing something rather than feeling like they're never constantly measuring up. So it's just kind of figuring out what they need. Anything else?
All right. Well, I think we'll bring it to a close here. We wanted to keep this thing as concise as we could. It's great information and great questions. And I know I've taken a lot away from it. Got a lot of bullet points here as well to share. Ashley, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Not only describing like the purpose of what you're doing, but some of the exact tactics. I look forward to seeing a link into that playlist and what your sneak peek looks like. And I just want to reiterate the importance of the sneak peek, or just the concept of continually pouring the value of coaching and the coaching opportunity and those income stories into your challenge groups or into any form, even if it's your existing group, just continuing to water and water and water the value of coaching. I think, again, sometimes, and I'm pointing the fingers back at corporate on this, where sometimes we get so focused on just customers or just challengers, and we know that they'll transition to coaches, but they don't transition to coaches just out of like magic. Like there has to be intentional, value driven reminders and stories about what the business opportunity has done for people, in order for people to really act and start to duplicate and understand that your business is built not through just you personally creating a lot of customers, but you enrolling coaches who want to work, who want to sell. And your in terms of building volume, it is, your organization is an organization of sellers, not an organization of customers. That has to be there. But in order for, deep residual to be produced, you have to have an organization of sellers, of coaches. And so continually creating that value in all of your forums, I think, is so important, and appreciate you touching on that. So anyway, thank you, you guys. Look forward to doing these each week. Everyone have a wonderful week, and we will see you next Monday. Thanks. Bye.
See ya.